Okay, this is the YouTube for the test question that I had on letter count. What I've done in the program first of all here is to had triple quote at the very top summarized what the test problem statement was. Not putting all the hints that I gave you in the test. And then here is a short version of the pseudocode. So what we want to do is prompt the user for a string, initialize the accumulator list, and then for each character of text change it to lowercase. If the character is a letter, then we calculate its index into the accumulator list and increment the accumulator element with that index. And then finally, this is output. Print out the column headings for a letter count table. Letter will be in the first column, and the count for that letter will be in the next column. And then we cycle through the alphabet for each letter in the alphabet. Little a and the little b and the little c all the way out to little z. We print out the letter and we print out the number of occurrences for that letter. Let's begin by getting the input from the user. Enter a string. Then I'm going to right up front here is I'm going to use the .lower method to change that to a lowercase, all letters in lowercase. I'm going to calculate an index offset that will be used later, which will be the ord of little a. As I explained in the test, I use that later to calculate the index. And it's going to be convenient for me to define something called alphabet, which is a string of all of the letters in order in the alphabet, all lowercase. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. Now I'm going to start cycling through the letters, and so I'm going to letters in the message. So I'm going to go for character in S1. S1 is the lowercase version of S. Go through characters in strg in string. So for the characters, for each character in S1, for characters in S1, if the character is a letter, and so I can simply say if that's true, then if character is in alphabet would do it. So that's the same as if character is a letter. Character is a letter, then I calculate the index corresponding to that letter by going ORD of CHAR and subtracting this index offset that I've computed above, ORD of A. Then what I do is I compute the, I increment the index here. I increment the element. L of index plus equals 1. Okay, now there is something that I forgot to do here. I forgot to initialize the accumulator list. And so let me go up and do that. I have to do that to, I would get a name error if I hadn't initialized L, and so I'm going to do that basically with a repetition command like this. I'm going to go L is equal to 26 times 0, and so this is a really simple way to initialize the list accumulator. So down in the loop here, what I'm doing is I'm incrementing the appropriate accumulator in the list corresponding to the element in the list that represents the count for CHAR. Increment corresponding letter counter. Okay. I'm now ready for my output. So I'm going to print out my column headings. Letter count. This needs to be registered over to be even with this for loop here, because I want the for loop to finish before I start printing my output. And so the comment for this is this would be the column headings for output table. Now what I want to do is I want to go through the alphabet for letter in alphabet. Go through letters. I want to compute my index, so I'm going to go the ord of the letter minus the index offset, and so this is going to be the index into the accumulator for the element in the accumulator corresponding to this letter. And then what I simply do is I print out the letter and the corresponding element of the accumulator, like that. So the computation letter counting, so I am initializing my counter up here. I'm going through the message, which has been transformed to lowercase here, and incrementing the appropriate element in the accumulator. And then this last part is the output. So first of all, the column headings, and then for each letter in the alphabet, then I print out the letter count. Now I need to invoke the code, which I can do just like this. And so let me move this over. All right, so let's save it. And we ought to be able to run this guy. Let's see if it runs. Okay, enter a string, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a string that I got of famous quotes here, and here we go. And so there's my output. So you can see the column heading, letter, and count. These aren't lined up very well, but you could, now here's where you could use the format print commands to make this all nice. I could center this under here and center this under there, but I'm not going to fuss around. We'll just show you the main features here.